Hi, and welcome to the Ada K Show. I am Ada K. Brown, and am currently a criminal justice major, and I'm a deaf courtroom commentator. Grab a cup of Java, and let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Hope this finds you well on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. I hope y'all had a good afternoon. Sunday afternoon. I hope y'all had a good day today. I actually got to church. I got sun on my skin. It was fabulous. Had a wonderful day. So, how are all of y'all doing? Are we getting ready for next week? We got a big week. Amy Evans, hello, lonely. I'm so lonely. Nobody to chat here. Oh, I was busy peddling behind the scenes to chat. I'm sorry. But you're first in chat, so you get an extra entry. Hilda, good day. All she's second in chat. She gets extra entries. One sunny day is third. And Jesse, hi fam. Hi y'all. I'm making earrings again. Yay. Hello to Brit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a lot of crazy stuff to talk about. Yeah, we got a lot of crazy stuff to talk about and a short time to do it because I do have a hard stop at 8, no later than 8:15. Oh my gosh, y'all, there's so much that has happened. Okay, I've got a lot of videos pulled up here, guys. Sorry, but I have, we have Karen Reed. We've got, um, Lori Daybell. We're gonna talk briefly about Linda Sturmer. Hi, don't forget to like the stream, comment. I liked here live chat for a chance to be entered into the April's gift card, $50 gift card. But one of the things that we missed out on, unfortunately, because of the feed, was the what's the word I'm looking for? Did not mean to do that. Thank you very much. We did not get to see the actual reaction of the defendant, Linda Sturmer. So many people. Linda Sturmer, when she was found guilty. So we're going to start off by watching Miss Linda Sturmer, her reaction to the guilty, because all we had was a camera on the family. Sorry, I linked. Oh, okay, I give up. Dr. Topical Weasel. Welcome, 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 everybody. Thank you. So let's actually see what she did when she heard
Clerk of the court will now accept the verdict.
Y'all.
Foreperson, please rise.
It won't good. It won't good, y'all.
Has the jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes, we have.
What is your verdict, please?
Wait a minute.
We, the jury, find the
Wait a minute.
defendant guilty.
Okay. This is not the video. Oh, here it is. Here's where I want to go. Okay. There we go.
Have you two sign a stipulation for return of exhibits to both sides? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Back a little.
Anything else then?
Because they didn't put the camera on until after the jury left. So here we go.
Sentencing date.
Here we go.
Mr. Mueller and Mr. Cowley, I have late morning, May 12. I generally do them on Mondays. So, and Monday mornings. So I'll throw out some dates. I have May 12th, late morning. May 19, all morning is open at this time. Or May 27.
Your Honor, I can't do May 27. We're
Oh,
at the
okay.
drug treatment
Okay.
training, so I prefer, I would like to be here.
Do the other dates work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, look at her. She is literally head
Second video,
down
Your Honor.
this whole time. I saw another video
I think the
Find
second
it.
option was May 19.
where she turned around, but that's all she did. Head down, total shock.
If you want.
I'm going to skim. This is the position she stayed in.
Council,
shocked.
anyone on
Good
bond?
morning,
I'm applying to
about
revoke
with
bond at this
Diane.
time.
How are we today? We're
Okay.
good.
So I will revoke bond due to the
Chilling?
conviction,
Well,
the
thank
murder
you for
conviction.
chilling.
So Ms. Sturmer, I'll have you go with the jailers to the jail.
So
And
she
council,
revoked her
we
bond.
have you two sign a stipulation for return of exhibits
We've
to
already
both
signed it,
sides.
Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
Ms. Winkler was.
Anything else then, council?
Sobbing.
Your Honor.
Address now? Okay. Okay, thank you.
No more hair dye. Oh, she's got to go through that booking process again. Oh, ew, the poor baby's going to have to go through the street shirt. This is why you come to a verdict when whether you're guilty or innocent, you never have jewelry on. Takes too long for this process. She's like, somebody here. He's like, no, don't worry about the earrings. We'll deal with it later. We'll get them to your attorney later. So now she is going to have to go and get processed back into jail after living free for 6 years, I think, 7 years. She has gone without, she's been out on bond, and that has been revoked. And her daughter is standing, the one next to the jacket door right here, talking to her. That is her daughter. Her daughter was devastated and said that her brothers and other witnesses should have been drug tested prior to her going out of the jail. And that's the daughter that supports her. Oh, he was livid, y'all. And of course, everybody waited in the courtroom. So that's that. That's that. That's all, folks, on that one. So, the daughter, there was a video of her daughter, I think I played it Friday, that was outside and scathing. She was scathing. So let's go real quick to some semi-breaking news. Everybody, it is sad news to say that in the Miss Karen Reed trial, let me get it up on screen. The justice of the Supreme Court of the United States will not do an injunction. Right now, the application for that process was denied by Justice Jackson. And so now it has to go to a hearing May 25th. So there is not going to be, they're going to have to go through trial. Lori Axe would be trying her. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's better than no time out of prison, I guess. Yes, that is true. I did see that. Hello, send me a link and I'll throw it up there. Send me a link and I'll throw it up there. But yes, that is true. I saw that. There's also a police officer. Y'all put it, if you have stuff like that, put it in members information drop in my Discord so I can share it with you. This is sad. This happened
Headquarters tonight,
in
the chief, Adam
Vancouver.
Palmer, writing on social media that what happened is intolerable, adding
Can't believe
certain
this
people
happened.
in society need to be incarcerated. A surveillance camera catches the aftermath. The man in the center is not involved, but look right as a ball of flame erupts and one
Right here.
officer, visibly on fire, runs. His partner does a quick pivot, singeing his uniform, but avoiding burn injuries.
It definitely is enraging to our members. This comes right off the heels of other assaults that have happened not that long ago.
This one happened here on East Hastings near Carroll, just after 9 p.m. Thursday. The officers were on routine patrol when they tried to detain a man for jaywalking.
The man then fled. As officers pursued, he then threw a flammable substance at our officers.
She says the suspect, wanted on 10 different warrants, was tasered and arrested nearby. The junior officer set on fire.
Okay, there's nothing more really. They just kind of repeat the information on that one. What this means, Ronnie, is they're not going to put an injunction or pause this trial. That was denied. So now they will hear the entire appellate issue. It's set to be heard on was it April 25th? Let me look again. Oh. It is distributed for a conference on April the 25th. So that means the trial does continue. I didn't turn my light on, y'all. The trial doesn't help that much. The trial will continue. And so the show goes on. That's right. The show must go on. The show's going on. And so that is what's happening in the Karen Reed trial. We are all of us who are going to be covering it are kind of getting ready for that. Oh, I have people sending me things I already have. Thank you so much, guys. Governors, here we go. Hello to Brit. We will play this. And then we'll get into the Lori Vallow.
From all across, leader in law enforcement. You'll hear from him in a few moments.
Not good audio.
Lori and I are overwhelmed by the prayers.
Why isn't it on stage? There it is.
And the messages of support that we've received from all across Pennsylvania and all across the United States. We've heard from our fellow governors and first spouses. We've heard from several of the former governors of Pennsylvania. We've heard from so many friends and loved ones. We've heard from so many caring citizens of this great Commonwealth. I want you all to know that your prayers lift us up. And in this moment of darkness, we are choosing to see light. We appreciate the light that you have shined upon us. Pennsylvania State Police, led by Colonel Christopher Paris, will brief on the specifics of what transpired. But we do know that this attack was targeted. We don't know the person's specific motive yet, but we do know a few truths. First, this type of violence is not okay. This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other, directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another. It is not okay. And it has to stop.
Amen.
We have to be better than this.
Preach it.
We have a responsibility to all be better. Second, if this individual is trying to deter me from doing my job as your governor, rest assured I will find a way to work even harder than I was just yesterday for the good people of Pennsylvania. Here's a third truth. If he was trying to terrorize our family, our friends, the Jewish community who joined us for a Passover Seder in that room last night,
Ooh.
hear me on this. We celebrated our faith last night proudly, and in a few hours, we will celebrate our second Seder of Passover again proudly. No one will deter me or my family or any Pennsylvanian from celebrating their faith openly and proudly.
Preach it.
I am grateful to the good people of Pennsylvania for giving me the honor to serve as their 48th governor. I will continue to pour every ounce of my being into this work. I'm going to do my best to be your governor, and right now to be a good husband and father to my family who are obviously traumatized by what occurred here last night.
Yeah,
We're grateful to law enforcement for helping ease some of that trauma thanks to their outstanding work. They were here within seconds. They did an extraordinary job, local, state, and federal law enforcement partners. I now want to bring up the Colonel of the Pennsylvania State Police to give you some specifics on the investigation, followed by our District Attorney, Fran Chardo, and then we'll do our best to take a few questions. Thank you, Governor. I'd like to begin by saying, on behalf of not only the Pennsylvania State Police, but all of our partners, federal to municipal, that our hearts and prayers are with you and your family during this very trying 14 plus hours. I'd like to start off by preemptively offering that this is still very much very early in a very active and dynamic investigation. And I can tell you that we're pursuing any and all leads. We have processed the crime scene and released it just recently. You will see imminently how large and complex of a scene that it is. Physical evidence has been gathered and is in the process of being forensically analyzed, both at the State Police Crime Laboratories and also the Cumberland County Crime Laboratory. And I'd like to mention them specifically. As the governor stated, the work done by Harrisburg Fire Department was absolutely instrumental in preventing any loss of life last evening. To acknowledge again the Harrisburg Police and the major case team that the State Police was able to put together. So to pause for a moment, that was comprised of and remains comprised of the Harrisburg Police Department, the Capitol Police, our partners from the FBI. I received multiple calls from the FBI SAC of Philadelphia, who happens to be out of country, and yet he took the time to call, as well as his assistant special agents in charge, who are not only here with us, but we've spoken to throughout this incident. I received a call personally from the Attorney General with an offer of any and all support. Received a call personally from the U.S. Attorney acting for the Middle District of Pennsylvania, John Greganis, offering any and all support of the U.S. Attorney's Office. And as the governor said, we will hear from shortly, the Dauphin County District Attorney, Fran Chardo. So I can confirm at this point, as we put out already, we are conducting an arson investigation, and we're conducting an attempted homicide and aggravated arson investigation. That is the paradigm that we've operated in. A lot of the investigative tasks have focused on the who up until this point. Obviously, we're trying to piece together very early on the exact sequence of events. We were late in coming out here because we were getting rapid information as it was occurring. And I'm pleased to announce that we do have an individual in custody. His name is Cody Balmer, B-A-L-M-E-R, age 38, with the Harrisburg Post Office address. In terms of the sequence of events, because of the thrust of the investigation concentrating on the who, I want to be very deliberate in my comments as to the how and exactly the time frame. What I do feel confident in saying at this point is that we don't anticipate any charges for conspiracy. But again, I reiterate my qualifier that I mentioned earlier, that we are still very much inside the first 24 hours. But at this point, we do not anticipate that. Likewise, the quick action of the members of the governor's detail, not only his immediate family, but some extended family members who were here. You will see from the physical plant behind me how grave the situation was. And when this occurred, I will tell you, again, the exact sequence of events. We will conduct a full review, but I feel very confident in telling you that it occurred over an extremely brief period of time, several minutes. And the quick action of those troopers last night immediately shifted to the safety of the governor and his family and his extended family. So we will certainly take a look and have a full, competent, and thorough investigation, but our hats are off to the quick action of all the first responders, not just within the state police, but as the governor said, Harrisburg Fire Department, who was instrumental in getting here quickly and getting the fire knocked down. We have kept tabs on the governor all day and will continue to do so. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to District Attorney Fran Chardo. Thank you.
We have, as the Colonel indicated, Cody Balmer is in custody. We are preparing a criminal complaint to charge him. This is not a record yet, but the charges will include attempted murder, terrorism, aggravated arson, and aggravated assault against an enumerated person. These are all very serious charges. As with any charges, the defendant is presumed innocent. We will file those charges within the next several hours, and we will include a probable cause affidavit, which will detail the basis for this arrest. I can't give you a lot of details because it won't be of record. I can only give you the charges, but the criminal complaint and the affidavit will detail that further this very day. I want to commend the Pennsylvania State Police, the Capitol Police, and the
Brawl.
Federal Bureau of Investigation, the other agencies that conducted this investigation.
Brawl.
I was here this afternoon and witnessed the remarkable efforts they did.
Okay, we don't need to hear everything. I just want to put that up there. Here is the picture of that said person. My mouse is being squirrely. That is him. That be him. He's the one that did it. So, y'all, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Okay, so let's get to Miss Laura Reed. Lori Daybell. Arr, arr. I know I'm really struggling with her name today. Lori Daybell, I want to do a quick recap, kind of talk about what's happened this week for those who were not here. First of all, she's the Doomsday Mom Killer. State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell trial finishes its first week Friday, the 10th. Prosecutor Trina Kay and Lori Daybell, who is representing herself, as we are so happily being entertained by, both presented their opening statements at the beginning of the week. The prosecution has called 12 witnesses to the stand over the first 4 days. First week of the Lori Daybell trial concluded with an emotional testimony by Charles Vallow, sister Kay Woodcock. Now, she's a personality. We'll be talking about her in a minute. Doomsday Mom Lori Daybell, who allegedly or already is serving life, in prison without the possibility of parole for the unaliving of her 2 children, is on trial for conspiracy to commit redrum with her 4th husband, or on her 4th husband. The case has captivated the nation's audience, and it is absolutely worth the watch. What we know so far is the police say that Charles Vallow was shot and killed by Lori Daybell's brother, Alex Cox. Now, if you watch the full interview of the sister Kay, they believe that Lori is the one who fired the second shot. Prosecutors say it's all a part of a scheme orchestrated by Chad and Lori to start a string of unalivings, including Lori's daughter and her autistic adopted son, and Vallow, the husband, and Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell. So in the opening statements, the state says that Lori acted as a religious figure to direct her brother to unalive Charles, calling him dark. I know. Calling him dark and demonic and possessed. And she believed she was good. And by unaliving, let me go back. By unaliving, sorry, my son came in. Her husband, she was to get $1 million life insurance policy on Charles. But the interesting thing is, the crazy thing is, he changed it just months before he was unalived and gave it to his sister. She had no idea that that had been done, and that Charles Vallow learned of Chad Daybell's affair with his wife shortly before his unaliving. Lori Vallow Daybell then laid out her own case, most of which included time and time again, the evidence will show, the evidence will show, the evidence will show. I should just get a soundbite of that. She outlined her day and argued that the shooting by Alex was a self-defense. Now, finished by saying self-defense as well. For Vallow's full opening statement, you can go back and watch my previous show. Now, here's the interesting thing. Lori's husband, thank you, son, was a baseball player, semi-pro. He wasn't pro, but I guess he wanted to be pro. Unfortunately, the wound on the back of her brother's head was only about an inch long, and it was barely even broken skin. Had Charles Vallow really hit Alex in the back of the head, full force swing with a metal baseball bat, it would have taken his head off. This guy knew what he was doing. Oh. Excuse me. Day one, we saw first responders arrive on scene where they confronted Alex Cox, found Charles Vallow lying unalived in his home on the floor on his back. They also covered the demeanor and the reactions of Cox and Vallow and Daybell, who arrived on scene midway through the body camera footage started on both of the officers on scene. So what was really strange was Lori Vallow was kind of like, oh, I feel sorry for my neighbors. We've only lived here for a very short while. And I'm like, where's the tears? Where's the, oh my God. She didn't ask anything about her husband. She didn't ask, and the daughter didn't either.
Really whitewashed.
Okay, I need to go. On day two, they covered more of the physical evidence of the home, including what was found and what wasn't found on the crime scene. Okay. So that in and of itself was interesting. Friends and acquaintances of Charles and Lori were introduced to the jury on day three. Nancy Jo Hancock, who had recently started dating Charles before his death, and provided testimony. And boy, was it snippy about how she found out about his death. Oh my gosh. It's worth going back and watching. It's, I think, day three of on my feeds. You can go back and watch. If I have time, I will put up some clips of it. Basically, she met Charles through, and this is Nancy Jo, met Charles through a dating app for LDS people. And it was under her impression that he was filing for divorce. Now, Lori comes out and she goes, basically, like, you don't know what you're talking about, honey. We weren't getting a divorce. We were married. She goes, separated, getting a divorce. Well, I found that interesting. And I said it then, call the kettle black much. Lori, you're having an affair with Chad Daybell on your husband. And then after that affair, and he found out about it, and y'all had some separate time, he started going to the LDS website, dating website, and they just had dinner. They weren't intimate. They didn't do anything inappropriate. They just had dinner. And yes, they had a lot of phone calls and talking prior to meeting for dinner. And some point, Chad tells her, Charles, Chad and Charles tells Nancy Jo that he had changed the life insurance policy, which just raveled Lori Daybell. On the fourth day, brought some of the family members. Her brother, Lori's brother, Adam Cox, testified to the jury that he and Charles were in the early stages of planning an intervention on Lori for her religious beliefs, which were becoming extreme. Now, from what I'm learning about the LDS, is that if they feel that you are moving too far away from the faith and their beliefs, and which she was, Lori not only believed that she was a part of the 144,000 that will be going to heaven and everybody else will be going to hell, but she believed that she was the number 1% going to heaven. Oh, okay, honey boo. And then, so what they were going to do was basically have her banned from the temple, because in hopes of getting her to come back and realizing the errors of the way. It's like the Amish doing a mild shunning. It's not a full shunning, but it is a shunning, none to say the least. I am not LDS, but this is just my understanding. And if anybody knows more, please let me know. So, Charles and Adam were going to get together with family, and they were going to get to, some of them, not all, we're going to do an intervention on her and say, hey, if you don't cut this and you don't come back to the faith, we're going to have you removed from temple. The sister of Charles Vallow, Kay Woodcock, broke down in tears multiple times on the stand. But she, oh Lord have mercy, that woman has no love lost for Lori at all. And in fact, she only got 3 questions from Lori Daybell. Let me see if I have that up. I think I may. I don't know. Let me look. Come on. Pop up. Okay, maybe not. So she had an interview with the news station, and why it disappeared, I don't know, but I'll pull it up again. And I loved this interview. I thought it was freaking amazing. Member drop, where is it? Come on, y'all. I know we have it, but I can't find it. Oh, let me go to Miss June, see if you have it. Oh, let me just pull it up. Sorry about that. Um, I'm looking for it, guys. Give me a split second. But what I liked is the support that they have and the fact that they are sticking together. I'm pulling it up, y'all. If I can, well, I thought I was pulling it up. Okay. Hold on, let me get it up. This isn't even that far from regular moral. Yeah, it isn't. But unfortunately, Lori kind of went off the deep end. Lori was talking about people being possessed by spirits. And here's the other thing. I don't understand this. I'm a chaplain. I know about different faiths and beliefs, and that's fine. But what I don't understand is how in the world can you do an exorcism and remove a demon from somebody when they're not even in your presence?
Witness has taken the stand. Kay Woodcock, Charles Vallow's sister, is on the stand under direct examination. Let's go back in.
I want to talk to you about your siblings. You told us that you are Charles's sister. How many siblings were there in your family?
6.
And where did Charles fall into that?
He was number 3.
Okay, we showed the other one on live on Friday. So I want to show this. This is on the record. I already have given them credit. Fox 10 Phoenix News. Hopefully,
long time, facing off with her nemesis, Lori Vallow Daybell, the pro se defendant accused of plotting Charles's death. Kay takes us inside her testimony. I'm Justin Lum, and we are on the record. What a week of trial it has been in the Lori Vallow Daybell case, and I am joined by some special guests right now. I've been waiting to talk to this family. We are speaking with Kay Woodcock, Charles Vallow's sister, Jerry Vallow, Charles Vallow's brother, and Susan Vallow, Charles Vallow's other sister. You guys have been through such a journey. First off, I want to start off with Kay. How are you feeling coming off yesterday's testimony? Everybody's eyes were glued to the screen when you were taking the stand.
I am probably the most depleted I've ever been in my life. I told you, I'm like, I don't want to interview today. I'm just exhausted. It's exhausting being in that courtroom every day. And it was just like it in Idaho. At the end of the day, you're just drained. And so it's the same thing here. And, but yesterday after testifying, it's such an emotional thing and it just wipes you out. But I mean, hey, I'm here. I can only go up from here. So I'm good.
Yeah. You're done as far as trial number 3.
Yes.
You have, isn't that, I was saying this yesterday to our viewers watching. Imagine being a key witness and testifying in 3 murder trials. And I know that's not something that anybody wishes for, but that is the hand that you were dealt.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever think about that? Like how you are a key witness in these cases?
Not really. I just know what I know. I mean, it's not that I know anything more or less than the next person, but
in some ways you do.
Everybody together, collectively, it's one big.
hello, Justice Jane. Oh my gosh, I love your picture, your thumbnail. Ooh, gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining.
Story, and it's one big mess that Lori and Chad made to everybody's lives that have been affected by this.
Jerry, how proud were you of your sister yesterday, seeing her up there?
My sister rocks. she is a badass. And I was very proud of her. She said what she said, and it almost fell out of my chair. But it was a really great testimony.
Because this is about justice for your brother.
It
And
is.
It's been a long wait to even get to this point.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're here, and let's rock and roll.
Susan, how about you?
I was so proud of her. So when she came back at Lori, and Lori just didn't really know what to do. But yeah, she rocked. She really did.
That's awesome to hear. Now, what you're talking about right there is what leads me to this, how you basically clap back at Lori Vallow Daybell, who's representing herself pro se, and we're all waiting to see the kind of questioning she had for you in cross-examination after this very, very thorough testimony and direct exam by prosecutor Trina Kay. But she only had 3 questions. Let's listen to that exchange right now.
Ms. Woodcock, where were you on July 11th, 2019?
At home in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Were you aware at all of the relationship between Charles and Tylee?
It was, let's say, it was a bit contemptuous. It seemed like there was always a lot of drama going on, and so that's all I knew. He didn't say too much about it, and I didn't pry.
That you knew that there was some kind of contention going on with those two for
I can't
a
hear
while?
you.
I'm sorry. You did know that there was some kind of contention going on with those two for a while?
Yes.
Okay. And you weren't really aware of the events that happened that morning, were you?
The morning of the murder?
Of July 11th?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Because you didn't tell me.
I love it. I love that moment. That's so good.
Ms. Woodcock, did you see or hear or personally witness me conspire with Alex Cox to kill my husband, Charles Vallow?
No, but I saw a ton of evidence that did.
Thank you. No further questions.
He's like, ow.
Wow. So what we just saw there, that last bit of the exchange, is Lori Vallow Daybell says, thank you, no further questions. But she had asked you if you personally saw her conspire with Alex Cox to kill your brother, Charles Vallow. And you just said, no, but I've seen the evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, was that
Actually, Justice, she did know she's going to testify that day, but she could not open certain doors. And you're going to hear her talk about that. Yes, I did. Thank you so much, June. I know. It's a ton of evidence, and you're right. Where did it go? Where is it? Guilty. That's my belief. But anyway, and we're going to watch more of this, but this woman, I love her. But she was very limited in what she was allowed to say. I'll let her explain.
Is that something that just came to mind, or did you foresee that happening because she had asked some witnesses that question at the end of cross?
That just popped out of my mouth. No forethought. I just said it. And after that, I was talking to Trina, and I said, she could have objected to a lot of that. I don't know exactly what, and she said, oh yeah, but she's pro se, so she doesn't know what she's doing.
Because after you said no, you did elaborate there.
Yes.
You threw some back. It's similar to what Nancy Jo Hancock did.
Yes.
Saying don't flatter yourself.
Right.
I mean, but that she left it there. I mean, that was another contentious.
Y'all, Nancy Jo Hancock was like, don't flatter yourself. I loved it. I was in on every word of that. By the way, we have some new people joining us tonight. Thank you so much for joining. We have a $50 gift card giveaway at the end of the month. And the way for you to enter or get a chance for an entry is to, 1, subscribe. If you did, you get entries. If you become a member, if you buy memberships, and if you give us a thumbs up at the end of the night, I will do the drawing for the thumbs up entry into the giveaway. If you give us a thumbs up, comment ILIKED. I will show you, just like Miss June did here, and that will get you into the drawing at the end of the live for an entry into the end of the month giveaway. Let's go back.
Cross-examination. But what was it like for you seeing Lori Vallow Daybell? Really, you've seen her in court, but this is you face to face, just like this, and she's asking you the questions. This is something you've been waiting for.
This is the first time I have spoken with her one-on-one since March, in person, March 28th of 2019. That's it. That's how long it's been. So 6 years, and I've waited and waited for this. And when I found out she was representing herself, I was over the moon with gratitude that I would be able to speak to her. And I mean, I was nervous, but it's hoping I wouldn't open up the door to Idaho, or, you know, that's something we had to be very careful about. But I just, listening to the last few days' testimony, I feel like those jurors have to feel that there's something more that went on here.
Yeah, I
And
think that is
not
happening.
necessarily here geographically, but in this whole story.
See, that is something that I wonder. And would you guys, if you were sitting on a jury and you hear that there's 2 children, and all of a sudden some people are talking about them as they're alive, but there's other people who have talked about them in a past tense, but not saying how or why. That is what really got me, is if I'm sitting here on a jury and there's 2 children, like the girl that was there with the mother, Lori, where are they? Where are they? I wonder what the jury's thinking.
Because I said the last time I saw JJ was in, you know, May 18th of 2019. And I bet I don't know. I think I putting myself in their place, I would be wondering, well, wait a minute, where's JJ now? You know?
I think the jury's definitely wondering, right, where is Alex Cox? Where is Tylee Ryan? Where is JJ Vallow? Where are the people that were at the home July 11, 2019? And I've heard her use these names sort of in present tense. And then I've heard witnesses, and maybe this was you, using their names in the past tense.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're picking up on or how much they know. But I think at some point, as more evidence comes out in this trial, they're going to wonder why maybe they're not in the courtroom, why they're not called as witnesses. And then how much more does the door open? Because it almost really opened the other day when Lori wanted to keep on cross-examining Nancy Jo Hancock and we went to lunch.
I think, I truly feel that if they wouldn't have broke for lunch right there, she would have opened it, because she had to know that were talking about her the whole evening long. That's
okay. Justice, put the words ILIKED in a comment just like this, and that will get you in the drawing. We want you in the drawing.
That's Lori's ego. That's Lori's narcissism. And that was so close. So I was, man, if I wish the judge would have broke for lunch then, just 5 more minutes and she would have sunk herself.
And maybe she learned from that. I don't know if her counsel told her, you know, to not keep that witness on cross too long, because we saw her not even cross-examine her old friend, Christina Atwood. You know, there's some witnesses that she's just decided not to cross at all. When we get into the really technical stuff with police, there's some moments throughout court where the jurors are really trying to pay attention because they're being taken through this whole crime scene. I want to ask you two, what's that like, being in trial and you're seeing photos of your brother, you're seeing body camera footage, and it does bring up trauma, I bet, as you're going back to the crime scene.
It wasn't a pretty sight to see. It really wasn't, but it was just hard to see. It really was, for me, Susan, and Gay, and everybody else.
Yeah.
But I'd seen them before, but not in such graphic detail.
Yeah.
And it was upsetting to me to see him sitting there laid on the floor dead, and it wasn't nice. I mean, he shot him in the chest, and he fell down, and he gets shot again.
Okay, Larry Woodcock responds to Kay's "oh boy" in another video. It is an hour long, and I don't have that long tonight, but I did play snippets of it the other day. And yeah, this is going to get good this week. So we're going to have Karen Reed starting Tuesday morning, and then after the Karen Reed trial, we'll have the Lori Daybell trial at night. So y'all hop on them for.
That's what the evidence is showing. The prosecution keeps hammering that home of how the projectile went through the baseboard and how it's very clear that Charles was flat on his back for the second shot. And then we even talk about the baseball bat and how there's no real conclusive evidence to prints that match Charles. And the whole narrative by Lori is that there was this huge fight. And I wonder about July 12th and on 2019, as you guys are learning about this fight, how did you wrap your minds around that the narrative was that this was self-defense at the time.
I thought it was BS because it was a setup and he was
It was an ambush.
ambushed and executed. And that was the plan, and I think that's what they did.
Larry truly believes, and as time has passed, I agree with him that we think Lori shot him when he was down. Alex said, "Here, you need to take a shot and think about it."
Well,
Wow.
What an accusation that is. And that right there could open Lori to sue her for defamation of character. I would love to see that. Oh, that would be fun trial hearing. But it brings up the question, because when we were watching parts of the interview of the daughter who's now unalive, and I hesitate to show that because she's not alive, but it was important that we see it. And the question was asked, was your mom in the house when you heard the bang, or was she outside? And she really paused and she was like, and you could see her mind really working, her trying to figure that out. And she said quickly after she came out, pretty quickly after the noise. So, yeah, I thought that was a very interesting accusation. I think this family has had to really control themselves for a long time, and I think they're finally letting their hair down and they're sharing how they truly feel, and it is a plausible possibility. It's plausible that she could have taken the second shot because her brother does the first one, she does the second one. They can't tattle on each other because they both are involved. I don't know. I just found that a very interesting turn of events as far as what they believe.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just our speculation.
The only person still alive is her.
Yeah.
Out of that whole scene.
Yep.
And at some point, like we were just talking about the jury, when do they wonder about everyone else involved? They don't necessarily know that Alex died in December 2019.
Right.
Just the trail of death. I mean, it's overwhelming when we get into Idaho. And I told people this yesterday. I said, I never see Kay get too emotional. It's been rare and occasional throughout this saga where you have cried.
Yeah.
And yesterday, when you went back to July 12th and finding out from Cole, Charles's son, that Charles was dead, and there was no information, and then Larry goes on Google. Larry is Kay's husband, and finding out the actual details. That's when you broke down. Now, what is it about that moment?
It was just trying to wrap my head around it. And I mean, I'm the one that can handle an emergency situation. I don't react. I just keep my head collected and, okay, what do I have to do? I have to take care of business first. And that's what I was trying to do. That's what I did do. I got to call my siblings. And so that's what I did. I started with the oldest and worked my way down and called everybody. And, it was a horrible time. I mean, it's whoever wants to tell anybody that, hey, I got some bad news for you. Charles is dead. That's all we know. And everybody's asking me questions and there's no answer.
You don't have the information.
I kind of have my heart goes out to her because my grandparents were killed in a car wreck with an 18-wheeler in 1997. And my father or mother did not have cell phones. I barely had one. And no, I had a cell phone, but they did not. And they were in a place called Canton, Texas. It's an antique, city with this big antique flea market thing. And I had to wait for 9 hours to tell my dad that his mom and dad were deceased. But I also had to call my great aunt and uncles, my grandparents' brothers and sisters. I had to make that phone call because as sheriff, I was the first one that they were going down grandma's phone book and they saw my last name was the same as theirs, and I was the only one who answered. And so I really, really struggled. I identify with that, and it's such a horrible place to be.
I don't have any information, but I think after that, Larry and I called the Chandler detectives, but we didn't really learn that much. But I did, say, hey, we're going to be there at noon tomorrow, and who do we need to speak to? We need to talk. And anyway, it went from there.
You said that in cross examination to her. You said you didn't tell me anything. You wouldn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, she asked you, "Do you know about the morning of?" And,
Yeah,
and
that
it wasn't
was-
really a complete question. But
It was a stupid question on her part. Like, what am I supposed to know? I was at home living life.
And you literally told the court that you didn't know anything because everything you found out was on July 12th,
Right.
and you still didn't know a lot.
Right.
As far as the family dynamic between the siblings here, was Charles someone that you guys never really had to worry about? He's just doing his thing, busy guy, just living life.
Yeah.
Like what? I've talked to Kay about Charles and his personality, but for you both, like what was he like?
You want to go first? Or
Susan?
No, you go first.
Well, he was my big brother, my protector, taught me. When we were kids, it was just growing up. It was, we hung out a lot. We had a lot of the same friends. We'd go camping, fishing down the bayou and the river and go play baseball. We'd always have plastic ball games in our backyard. And then we'd go to Little League or minor league and play ball. And it was always about baseball with us. But he was he was a protector and a fun guy to be around with. Lots of friends.
Yeah, he has many childhood friends, and to this day, and a lot of them have reached out to us and reach out to me, and offer condolences, and it's
They've watched this unfold.
oh yeah, it's amazing just some of the people that we've heard from, that like, oh, I don't remember you, or oh yeah, I do remember you. Hey, since I saw you last when I was 8,
Yeah.
So
They came out of the woodwork.
yeah,
I heard from people I didn't even know that were Charles's friends. And they can find you through Facebook or whatever. And they did. And I got several calls and I knew Charles and back when and this and that and in college, whatever.
and then when he was in college at McNeese, our university in Lake Charles, he was in Kappa Sigma, and I don't know. All I knew is they were always partying. So, and he had a lot of friends there too. It was.
I went to a few of those parties.
And
I was still in high school, but
Tell me, I just kind of.
Yeah.
I really don't have time tonight for all of these interviews, but I encourage you to go over and watch them in full content. And this is good. She starts talking about the family finances. Okay, now one thing I want to say, and Ronnie, thank you for bringing it up. Larry, I think it's the husband, right? Or is that's the husband? They had a home severely damaged by a hurricane, and they finally are getting to the end of. They've gotten to the end of the repairs and renovations, so they are having to move in, and then he has grandchildren that they're raising. So he will be there later in trial, but right now he's not been able to be there. But he has been watching.
More public defenders do the thing and cross-examine, but she's now leading the show here. And so that's why I think everybody was expecting more fireworks and seeing how if this got more emotional or intense between you both, but it was quick and she had something. She went longer with Adam, and I'm sure you got to see that with Adam Cox, her brother.
Adam did.
What did you take from that whole testimony?
From Adam?
Yeah,
I know Adam is in a terrible position with his family, that they would ostracize him and Zach for speaking up about this wrong thing their daughter did and son. And so I appreciate Adam being honest, 100%, totally honest and open. And, Adam did the right thing. It's his family that is very questionable.
Well, Rex Connor, the uncle,
I say her immediate family. I don't mean Rex and.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like Rex said that they were really
And
close.
Megan.
Rex said that Adam and Lori years ago. I mean, these are siblings.
Yeah.
They're all close.
Yeah.
Just like you guys are close. And then at some point in 2018, the relationship gets strained, and Adam is on the stand saying that once she asked him what he thought about her beliefs and what she was saying about her priesthood and being a celestial being, he had to just say, well, I don't believe you. Like, I'm not going to criticize you, but I just, and so she took offense, it seems, because he said they just stopped talking. Is that her nature though? Like how she treats people, even loved ones, if you don't agree with her?
I never saw that, but what I did see over the years is it's like when Charles and Lori moved to Hawaii, then, the next time we went, her parents were there. And I was like, why? It's like the family just followed her. And I don't know. A lot of kids follow their parents, but it's like they were following her, like the whole family. She was their leader. I don't know. That's
Okay, I will tell you, she did have a following, y'all. She did have a real following, and that following were a bunch of women. She taught some people, some groups of women. She was speaking at certain places. So, yeah, she had a following. Crazy as it can be.
what I saw in my perspective. So I don't know.
And I got to know this. Maybe you guys talked to Charles during this time because this 2019 timeline from January into July, and your testimony discussed so many details. And you obviously you have like an encyclopedia now from doing these two trials, but like knowing when she was AWOL for 58 days, helping Charles move to Houston, and he's kind of back and forth, right? And then the reconciliation, the divorce that never really processed. But like, did Charles want to get back with Lori and go from being separated to finally living in the same home together? Like what was going to be the next step if things didn't go the way they did?
Lori would have never have allowed it. All she did when she came to Houston, excuse me, when she went to Houston after being gone 72 days, she went for a money grab. She went to grab money, and that was it. And then she was gone again.
So they were pretty much separated. She did not want to, because the affair was happening.
Yes, the affair was happening, and I have a bank statement showing where, because I knew when I looked at it, I didn't know what happened, but the weekend Chad Daybell was in Houston, and Lori was in Houston. There was a restaurant charge for, I don't know, $90 or something like that, and a hotel room charge, and I just knew that wasn't Charles and Lori. I knew it wasn't, and I don't know why I knew. I just did. And then as things have rolled out, that's exactly what it was. It was Lori and Chad. And I mean, Charles knew about Chad then.
Really, I was trying to figure out when he really finally knew that she was cheating.
Okay, guys, I've got a limited amount of time. I think most of what I wanted you to hear is already been said. They talk about a possible book or two later or whatever. But the thing is that this woman went off her freaking rocker. Chad had a following. Yes, he did too. He chat upline. Have we met before? Oh yes, I feel like it's another life, another planet. Very much into cray talk. Hi, Journey. Thank you so much. Yes, I just read you, but thank you so much for joining us. Did you know you won the Marches gift card? Yes, my dear. You won. So what I need you to do is go into Discord, instant message me, and give me your full name, address, telephone, and email. And where do you want Amazon, Starbucks? Where do you want the $50 gift card to come from? And I'll be happy to give it to you. Yes, you were you were. And so you guys, this is going to be very exhilarating time in court TV and very exhausting because Monday we have Lori Daybell starting at about 11 o'clock my time. And then on Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central Time, we will be starting, as long as they have enough jurors, starting in the Karen Reed trial. And then what I'm going to do is stream the Karen Reed in the morning. We'll take a short break, and then I'll be streaming Lori Daybell after the Karen Reed. We will be zooming it a little bit, so we won't be, we'll speed up the talk and do all that stuff. But we will be following both trials. Now, Thursday is a holiday. It's Monday, Thursday. Thursday night, I will not be live. That's the one night I'm not going to go live because, well, we got Easter coming up. And so I need to be there and take care of my family and participate like I always do. So I hope that for those of you who are not ones who celebrate that night, I thank you for your understandings. Okay, you have problems with Discord. Well, I tell you what. How about this? Here is my email. Send me an email. Okay. This is my email, akbjuror@gmail.com. Send me an email there with all that information and then we'll hook up. So I want to tell everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have a young man that's coming in. He uses my studio. He goes live at 8:30, addict to athlete. He's a fabulous young man, so I need to clear the studio for him. But thank you so much. We have some new people watching. Thank you so much for hopping in. Justice Jane, we love having you. We would love to have you again. Please come back. All my regulars, hello, it's Britt. Out and about with Diane. We had Dr. Tropical Weasels. I think I said that right. Haley Mouse, Ronnie, as always, thank you so much. One sunny day. Amy Evans, you're awesome and you were first in chat tonight. So, and of course, Miss June, always Miss June. And I thank all of y'all for being here and participating. And let's get the drawing happen. Let's make a drawing. We'll make a drawing. Do the drawing. Let me make it where I can share it with y'all. There we go. Bring it on. Bring it on. Okay, guys, here we go. Haley Mouse, you won tonight's entry. I'm going to do one more because it's Sunday night and I can do more if I want. Here we go. Here's another one. Number 2. And last one. Last one. I'm in a good mood tonight. Give it away, Just so you know, if this is your first time, I will go ahead and add you in. Please subscribe. Do all the wonderful things that YouTubers do. We appreciate it. Once again, thank you guys so very much for being a part of my life, for being a part of this world. This criminal minds. We love having you. So, week 2 of Lori Daybell starts tomorrow. We'll be live with that. Please join as soon as possible. And then Tuesday will be what I call the grind because I'll be up here at 6:30 in the morning. Won't leave until 10, 11 o'clock at night, but that's what I'm here for. I'm in for it. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll see all of you again tomorrow, especially you new people. And y'all have a good night's sleep. Give a hug to your loved ones. And we'll see you tomorrow for Lori Daybell. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.